A fragile ceasefire is barely holding along the Thailand-Cambodia border after nearly a week of the deadliest clashes the region has seen in over a decade. On July 28th, both countries agreed to halt hostilities following emergency talks in Kuala Lumpur. The agreement, brokered with support from ASEAN, the United States and China, came just hours after the death toll had risen to 38 and nearly 300,000 people had been forced from their homes. Many of them were fleeing villages where shelling had struck homes, hospitals and schools. In Cambodia's Preah Vihear province, artillery fire continued right up to the midnight ceasefire deadline. But by the early hours of July 29th, the guns had largely fallen silent. Then came a fresh setback. Just hours after the ceasefire began, Thailand accused Cambodia of violating the truce. Thai officials claimed their positions had come under renewed attack and warned that the agreement could collapse. Cambodia denied the charge and insisted the situation remained under control. Now, all eyes are on what comes next. On July 29th, field commanders from both sides are expected to meet at the border. A joint cross-border committee is scheduled to convene in Cambodia on August 4th. International pressure is mounting to hold the peace. But this escalation is not just a recent flare-up. Its roots go back more than a century, tied to a colonial-era map, a disputed mountaintop temple, and decades of unresolved tension. At the heart of the dispute is Preah Vihear, a 900-year-old temple perched on a cliff near the border. In 1907, French colonial authorities drew a map placing the temple inside Cambodia. In 1962, the International Court of Justice upheld Cambodia's claim and awarded it sovereignty over the site. However, the ruling left the surrounding territory ambiguous. Thailand contested the decision and argued that the French map was illegitimate. Over the years, nationalists on both sides turned Preah Vihear into a powerful symbol of sovereignty and historical grievance. The issue remained largely dormant until 2008, when UNESCO granted World Heritage status to the temple under Cambodian control. That decision reignited tensions. Skirmishes followed. 2 Cambodian soldiers were killed that year. In 2011, fighting escalated again. More than 15 people were killed and tens of thousands were displaced. The ICJ stepped in again and ordered both countries to withdraw troops, but the larger dispute remained unresolved. In 2025, the conflict returned to the surface. In May, a Cambodian soldier was killed in a contested area, setting off a series of escalations. Thailand imposed border restrictions. Cambodia responded by banning Thai imports and cutting off media access. On July 23rd, 5 Thai soldiers were injured by landmines during a patrol. Thailand blamed Cambodia, downgraded diplomatic ties, and sealed major border crossings. Cambodia responded in kind. By July 24th, fighting had broken out across 6 flashpoints along the border. Both sides exchanged airstrikes, artillery rounds, and rocket fire. Civilian areas, including schools and clinics, were hit. The death toll began to rise rapidly. On July 25th, Thailand's acting Prime Minister warned that the conflict could spiral into full-scale war. Mass displacement followed. By July 28th, nearly 140,000 people had fled their homes in Cambodia and another 138,000 in Thailand. Relief camps were overwhelmed and supplies began to run short. The Thai king's birthday celebrations were cancelled and a state of high alert was declared across multiple provinces. In this context, Malaysia hosted urgent ceasefire talks. Regional diplomacy intensified. China and United States sent observers. After hours of negotiation, both sides agreed to a midnight ceasefire on July 28th. That truce, while fragile, has brought some measure of calm. However, the situation remains deeply unstable. The centuries-old territorial dispute has now collided with domestic political turmoil, economic pressure, and rising nationalist sentiment on both sides. Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra was suspended by the Constitutional Court earlier this month after a leaked call with Cambodian leader Hun Sen. She was accused of compromising national security, although the full details of the call remain unclear. Her deputy Phumtham Vechayachai is now leading a caretaker government under significant strain. In Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Manet is facing mounting pressure from hardliners to take a more aggressive stance. What happens next will shape far more than just the fate of a tense border. It could determine the lives of hundreds of thousands of people caught in the crossfire and the direction of regional diplomacy in Southeast Asia. That's it for today's video. If you have any feedback or suggestions, write to us at video@thehindu.co.in. Thanks for watching.